Hello Internet, welcome to the live stream from the Faculty of Social Sciences at Masaryk University here in Brno. We are 4 student ambassadors introducing ourselves, introducing our study programs, telling you more about life in Brno, giving you some advice on the application process, and hopefully can also answer all other study-related or Brno-related questions for you. We will first start by introducing ourselves. After that, there will be some time for questions. My name is Yuri. I'm from Germany. I came here to Brno last year, September. So currently I'm in my 2nd semester of energy policy studies. And this is a program which combines social, political, economic, and ecological aspects around policy in the energy field. I'm a big fan of the program. That's why I also became the ambassador of this program, and I would be happy to see many new faces next year. And in case you have any questions about the program, I'm happy to help you. I'm gonna pass on to Darina, who is Ambassador of International Relations and European Politics, and is also joining us today.
I would be also very glad to welcome all the new students, and I would be definitely happy to provide any advice on the program that was mentioned before. It is International Relations and European Politics. I am currently studying my 2nd semester of the program. I am initially from Russia, but I've lived most of my most life abroad. I've lived in Montenegro and Israel the last years. And after graduating from high school in Israel, I applied for bachelor's in Masaryk University. I did absolutely the same program, International Relations and European Politics, and it was really an incredibly interesting and beneficial for me. Thus, I decided to directly move to the master's program of the Masaryk University, which is also International Relations and European Politics. The program itself combines the world politics and European politics. It offers a wide range of compulsory subjects, as well as you can choose from a big variety of optional courses. Thus, you're able to choose between whether you want to more focus on European politics or whether you want to more focus on international relations. That would be up to your choice. As well as during this program, and specifically the opportunities that this program provides, is, for example, for me, that I am right now able to find a job in the sphere that I'm studying right now, and it is more into negotiation sphere.
Thank you very much, Darina. Next up, we have Bare from Iran. She's the ambassador for public and social policy and human resources.
Yes, so hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm really happy to be here and share my experience with you. So my name is Bahare Mehrabi. I'm from Iran and I'm the master student of public policy and social policy and human resources. I'm currently in the 3rd semester. Also, my story to be a student here, it was really interesting because, as I remember, I was looking for a master degree, and I saw some articles on the on the internet, and suddenly I saw an article. It's from the Masaryk University, and the topic was really interesting for me. This is why I'm here, and I started to studying in this field. I came to Brno last year, and I'm really happy to be with you. So if I want to explain a bit or briefly about my major, I can say after 2 years studying in this major, you will be able to analyze all the data in some specific parts of economics, right? Unemployment rate, inflation, and other factors of changing the economics or economic growth. So you are able to making policy. This is really, I mean, strong point you will be achieved after 2 years. Currently, I can find a job in all the sectors which related to the economics and related to the all parts of the economic factors. And also there are many various and different fields which you can study in this program, such as making policy, economics, human resources, and also the welfare state, and the you will be able to use the skills of the analyzing data in statistics.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, we have Nicolas with us from Cultural Sociology.
Welcome everyone, I'm Nicolas Navas, I'm from Colombia, currently studying Cultural Sociology, it's my first semester. I'm also the ambassador for the program in Sociology. There's a difference between cultural sociology and sociology, and basically is that sociology is a broader experience where you can analyze different matters of sociology itself, and cultural sociology is more specified in just culture, but also the analysis of data and the underlying information you can reach from society. We can actually work in different areas as cultural sociologists. We can go from research to even marketing and understanding the cultures and how they develop around different societies. My background is in audiovisual communication, and actually in cultural sociology we have students that have different backgrounds. Some of them are specialized in tourism, others are psychologists, so actually it's a program that is open for different type of people.
Thank you, Nicolas. Maybe equally important as life in the university and the programs we're pursuing is life in Brno, the city we all chose to come to and to study. And maybe back to you, Nicolas. What do you think now, living in Brno for some time and being in the city? What do you think about Brno?
I'm amazed with the architecture, to be honest. Like each time that I cross the streets coming to the faculty from the dorm, I see like different details all around the city. Also, like I enjoy being in art galleries, and there's different choices you can choose actually from the whole city. Also, like if you like beer, there's different pubs everywhere, and comparing it with Europe, like beer here is extremely cheap, and also like there's different type of artisanal beers that everyone can try and choose. Also, the public transportation is always on time with a monthly fee that actually is cheaper for students of Brno. This monthly fee covers like every area around the city, so we can actually travel and new different places like each week.
Yeah, I can only agree with what you said, especially not only, but especially the beer part. I can tell Brno is a very outgoing city. We can, besides studying here, it offers cultural events, it offers events at night. Maybe you have something to add to this?
I definitely do.
let us hear.
As always. In addition to nightlife and out of university somehow life, there is also a very important part of work life, because Brno offers job opportunities, student job opportunities, in order to get a partial income. And there are different types of jobs, varying from managers into sales assistants, into maybe some shop assistants. I think, well, basically the students' jobs, and that is definitely a very big plus.
A lot of call center work.
A lot of call center work, so yes, definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, I would also just add that Brno, the size of Brno is very convenient for everyone. As you mentioned, the public transport is great. So you are everywhere in basically no time, and everywhere you go, there is something new and nice to discover. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I had no idea what to expect before coming here, but I'm glad I did.
I think I have one more point.
Yes,
I think
please.
there's the cost of living. In comparison to European cities, Brno is a very student city, and it has a very it has lower cost of living that other cities would offer you.
Also, as a student city, there's libraries like all around the city itself. So there's also like bars and pubs where you can not only drink beer but have a cup of coffee and study, because they have like these little places where actually everyone is silent and you can have time to study and just enjoy some pastry or some coffee.
Additionally, can I
Yeah.
add some comment? Well, I can say Brno is one of the international city in the Europe because of the universities here. It's really international places, and you can do everything you want with English. It doesn't necessary to know the Czech language, as I'm living here with English language. So. And another thing that I wanted to mention to that, it's Brno, it's one of the high-tech city and the accessibility. You can find everything that you want in Brno and it's close to you. It doesn't necessary to go out or you go for something very long distance to reach something. This is gonna be really, a strong point that I can mention it.
I think you mentioned accessibility, and I would definitely talk about the accessibility to other countries. Brno is so in the middle, Czech is so in the middle, and Brno is so in the middle of everything. So you just take a train in 2 hours, you're in Prague. 1.5 hours you're in Bratislava. 1.5 hours you're in Vienna. It is so. It allows a very wide. It has a very wide range of opportunities and choices of where to go, what to visit, and it's easier to get around.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe on a last note, it's also possible for those who want to escape the city. There are lots of opportunities for hiking all around the cities. We have beautiful hills.
Beautiful scenery.
Beautiful
Fantastic.
scenery. And well, I can imagine with 4 people praising Brno like this, that many of you in the stream might now wonder, well, how to get there, how to also be a student here and enjoy all this. And I'm glad that you, Bare, that you prepared to tell the hopefully prospective students out there what to think of and what to take care of during the application process.
Yeah, I prepared some tips to everyone to be careful about it. So I recommend you before starting the time of the application open. So read all the requirements which are there necessary and prepare them. And I recommend you to don't waste the time and prepare all the documents before the deadline, because it's really important which they completing all the requirements before the deadline. Also, if you want to write an essay, if you want to collect your documents, please do this before the deadline and submit them before the deadline. Other things is if you want to upload some essays on the websites with Friendly, I just recommend you. So make sure all the data which you want to mention it in your essays should be in your own words, so not copy.
So you mean no plagiarism?
Yes. Yeah. Don't copy, and also had the reference and other tips which I can say about the submitting the application. It's gonna be, please make the copy of all your documents. Be careful about the less mistakes, and also prepare them and upload them before meet the deadline.
That's Definitely good to think of all that advice. Thank you for that. I think Darina wants to add to this.
I was just about to talk about the plagiarism. Plagiarism is a very serious issue in the university, and you can face serious consequences. So there are specific tools online like plagiarism.net, plagiarism.com, where you can check your essays on the amount of water you have in this, which is unnecessary words, on the amount of unnecessary information you have them, on the amount of copied directly and not cited information you have. So definitely take a chance to use them, because that is a very good check. And for your essays, I would advise to take a look at the university website and find the information there, because sometimes the website offers a lot of examples of how to write, for example, a cover letter. A lot of students have problems with choosing the topic or organizing it. The website provides you examples of how you should do that. That's a tip.
Yeah.
And lastly, when you prepared all your documents, finished your motivation letter, please make sure that your application is confirmed and that you paid for your application, the application fee. Otherwise, the application cannot be processed, and then unfortunately all the effort you put into this would be worth nothing, which would be sad. I see that we also already have the first questions coming in. The first questions already touches upon on the conflict and democracy program. At this point, I have to say that our ambassador for this program can not join us today, but for a very good reason, because she's attending an interesting conference in Prague. But I'm glad that we have Darina with us, who can maybe give you some of the information you're looking for, especially regarding this question where Emily is asking, I'm trying to decide between conflict and democracy program, energy policy and international relations. What are the differences? Before I answer on international policy, maybe you can first talk what the differences between conflict and democracy on the one hand and international relations on the other hand are.
International relations and European politics and conflict and democracy. I found myself in the same position when I was applying for my master's. Conflict and democracy is a part of international relations. So as Nicholas mentioned about cultural psychology and cultural sociology, I'm sorry, and sociology in general, that also becomes a part. So you will be very focused, and you have to get ready to be focused on conflictology, democracy, and all the subjects around that area, whereas international relations in European politics can touch upon other aspects like policy making, like economics, sanctions. So it varies on what you're more prepared for and what you're more interested in.
Well, then touching on energy policy studies, I feel we do have some commonalities. But energy policy studies is a more specialized study. We have lots of courses which specifically go into the field of energy, as such that we learn about how energy systems are working, how different kinds of energy generations are working. So we go a bit away from maybe theorizing what state actors would do, and try to break it down on seeing how the energy sector is working, and then adding to this, looking at social, political aspects, and through that learn on how to formulate policy in the field of energy. I hope this answered your question, Emily. In case you have a follow-up question, the chat is still open. But other than that, I will go on to the next question by Margarita. She is asking whether there's any info about admission this year for incoming Ukrainian students. There is some additional information, especially on the website. The application process as we described it right now partly also concerns refugees coming from Ukraine, but there are some slight differences. I don't have them on top of my head. Unfortunately, I think my colleagues don't have it either, but if you look on the website, there should be more information on this. Or I just see that our elf in the background already tried to answer your question in the chat. So I hope this was no extra confusion for you. And but other than that, we can try to answer the next question from Abi Budara. It says, is there a percentage that requires for master's degree? Could you maybe
from bachelor's, like the percentage,
the numerus clausus?
Probably.
It's I think it's most of the I mean fields. It's if you read the requirements on the website, you will be completely know what is the factors will be influencing to that. So I think it's the better way to check the website and read the requirements in details.
Each program has their own requirements, so it's important to actually get into the web page of the program itself. There's the whole information for that specific program. If you're actually choosing between programs, it will be better if you just check the website and make some notes about which are the requirements for each master that you want to apply for. And then you will know like if actually you need an essay or just an interview, or if you have to send something else.
I think that was mentioned for when you're applying for master's, you need to attach your bachelor's diploma, which I think the question addressed the fact how much of the percentage of 100 has to be scored in order to be able to get to our master's. If this is this question,
The GDP?
GDP, if it's GDP, I think it depends on the program and should be checked on the website, because each program, as mentioned before, requires different percentage and different
GDP, I think.
It's not
Different
Average.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different average.
Okay.
And as I see, there was just the link posted in the chat to also give you more detail on this. But
There's any questions? Like
So
somebody
I
else?
just forgot to mention other things regarding to the application.
Okay.
Can I add it now?
so back to the application process.
Yeah, back to the application process.
There's more to come.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to, as Nicola said, each program has each application fee. So be careful if you wanted to apply for, one or two programs. Be careful to pay the application fees separately. This because your application will be complete and done once you finish and once you pay the application fee. Don't forget about the one application fee is for all the programs, because we are many departments in social studies, Faculty of Social Studies, and each one has the different departments and the different requirements, different professors, and different checking for admissions. So be careful about it. And also, can I add another question?
Yeah.
Another information about the Masaryk University is here. Masaryk University is one of the international and friendly university that I have ever seen. There is an IS system in the Masaryk University, which there is a link between the students and the professors, and also the universities. So you can use your IS here, and you can also always be in touch with your ambassadors, with your teachers, and also you can reach to every data which you want. And this is a really friendly system that you can work with that. And this is my tips that I remember it.
Also important to know that we as an ambassadors, like if you're interested, for example, in sociology or cultural sociology, you can write to my email. I will like happily answer as soon as I can to your questions. And also like if there's further questions, how are the teachers? How is the interview, for example? Like we can talk like more personally between each other, and the same with my other colleagues that they are going to help you.
But I think in general we can say once you made it to the interview stage, don't be afraid of the interview. You are coming as a student, or you're applying for studying here, so no one expects you to be an expert on the field. It is good to show that you developed a passion for or an interest for your field. Maybe you have some prior experience, but you come to Masaryk University to learn something, to become an expert, and you're not coming here as an expert. So don't stress yourself out. And in general, to also talk about the teachers here, I must say this might have been my most pleasant experience here being at Masaryk University. Teachers are extremely eager to help you with all study-related matters. They go above and beyond to like help you even with courses that might not be their courses. To maybe give you an example, last week I had a teacher coming up to me and telling me that she was thinking about some advice she could give me on my essay while she was preparing dinner for her kids, where I was just overwhelmed that even in the private sphere, teachers don't stop being teachers, but they continue to be helpful, friendly, approachable. So I feel this is maybe the biggest benefit of being here at Masaryk University so far.
Yeah. So we are here actually to help you, to see you very soon in Brno and also Masaryk University. And I can say all of our teachers and professors, which I had up to now, they changed my opinion to how I can researching. This is gonna be really, great and interesting. Before that, I was not really aware how to I research it or how to I find some data, but now I'm able to research it as a correctly way.
And maybe apart from, like, once you leave the, by the way, great study areas, which we also have here at the university. It sounds like we are paid to do this, but
high prestige university.
We are really just fans. And,
We're not.
I can tell you that also besides studying and working here, the university is also trying to organize some fun events around university day-to-day life, whether it's ice hockey games from our university teams, which are very intense, by the way. So if you come here, do not miss out on this. Or faculty day, which we had last week, where this whole faculty turned into, I wouldn't say a party zone, but close, with barbecue going on. We had ping pong with lots of people signing up for a tournament, including me. Unfortunately, I didn't make it far, but I still had fun. So yeah, it's there's not only a focus on or a tight focus on how to get you to your degree, but there are also ideas going on how to make your time pleasant, but also on how to have a good time at the university, so you like studying here.
Yeah. Let me say this. Studying in Masaryk University, not only you're studying, but also you have lots of fun. There are many events in Masaryk University and also especially in our faculties, which you can find many events, and also you can join, and it's really interesting because you can studying, additionally have fun. It's really great. Where can you find this?
Yeah, people are talking about parties, and I'm this person who's into work, studies. Yeah, I also wanted to mention a fact, apart from studying, apart from a very great cultural program that provides by university in general in Brno, Masaryk University helps you with practical courses, and specifically such things as internships. Sometimes it does provide it, sometimes it helps you, the professors help you with application. Mainly that what happened to me. One of the professors, he's the supervisor of bachelor's program and supervisor of international relations master's program. He helped me to get to one of the internships. It is as well in Brno. I have an internship in Garden Denver. That is a company, that is an American company that that works with specific parts, specific engines, delivery pumps, delivery of engines. I'm working as I have an internship as a person who they teach me how to calculate taxation. They teach me, they're helping me to be responsible for delivery to such countries as UK, mainly after Brexit. What are going to be the conditions with Ireland? How is it going to be delivered to countries which were disconnected from SWIFT? As well as not only me, but one of my colleagues had a very interesting internship in his area as well.
Yeah, for me it was not an internship which was related to this master, but in my case this was an internship with an energy company where I then discovered that I want to know more about this field, which is why I came to do energy policy studies here. So I kind of already did my share of internships maybe, so I'm happy if I can just pull through and get my degree, but definitely there are also opportunities for those who decide to do energy policy studies, and as I said, never hesitate to approach a teacher here or prof. They will always try to help you. If they can't, they can't, but if they then they will definitely try to help you. I saw we have another question here from TT Unreal. There is a question whether we can also choose subjects from other faculties. I know that we can do this, but I don't, so maybe
I have an experience with
that.
maybe.
Me too.
Okay, great, then go for it.
That's maybe why we passed this question on to my colleagues on the right, who actually did that. So, Pare, maybe you start.
I had an experience regarding to this question because before I start to studying in this faculty, I applied for public and social policy and human resources in social study faculties, and also public management in the economics faculty. And both of them was separate. The process of the application was completely different. The requirement was completely different. And good news is here that I was accepted in both of the faculties. But I decided to continue my education here in social studies, and I'm really happy to I choose these faculties because I really like it. And also you are able to fulfill the some applications in other majors, in other faculties. You are able to do it, and finally you can choose which one you want to continue.
I think a question was, how I perceive the question is that if we studying in social studies faculty are able to take subjects from the other faculties. For example, I'm studying right now and I'll take psychology from the art faculty. Yeah, that's possible. There is
Yes.
specific amount, the subjects, if you're going to dig deeper into that, the subjects are divided, as I mentioned before, into compulsory, optional, and then there is the third group, which is specific amount of credits for a semester that you are able to take from other faculties, and I had such experience. I did my psychology course in psychology, and I also did public speaking in art faculty a few years ago, and definitely, if that's instruction, if the course is instructed in English, you're able, and if you still have credits for those subjects, it's up to you.
Yeah, and also me too, because this semester I had the HR, Human Resources courses from the economic faculty, and also I have the beginners of German beginners for the education faculty. Yes, you are able to choose some not mandatory, but some optional courses which you want to join to them from other faculties. You are able to that. Okay, I think we have a next question.
Yeah, Peter is asking Nicholas whether you already know what you want to do after you graduated, because he's probably not too sure in what kind of job to find after doing cultural sociology.
Yeah, like I think cultural sociology, it's a really important matter if you like research and if you're able to read a lot. But at the same time, it's pretty important to know that when you're going to have, like, if your graduation is soon, and you know, if you don't know what you're going to study, you can have like two options. Like, you can have some experience, you can look for a job, you can just, you know, have some rest after these studies, or actually, like, you can fulfill what, I'm like, sorry, I'm just trying to understand. Will help me.
Like, I think the main question is, what do you plan to do after
I
you
graduate? I get it. Yeah, so the idea is that in cultural sociology, you can go through different branches. You can start with just research. In the university, you can be a teacher for bachelor's, for example, having a master studies, a master degree. But also, cultural sociologists are important in marketing, for example. We can understand how cultures work and how these cultures actually react on certain situations or products. So there's a way of monetizing the knowledge in cultural sociology, but also if you're more passionate in the research and knowing new stuff over facts in society, then a job in universities as a teacher or just as a researcher, or even for some companies for understanding how to develop further products into new societies, then that will help for the expansion of those companies, for example. So you can go between researching for sociology itself, or for a more practical view that would be like for companies or even universities.
Well, thank you, Nicholas. Since there are no new questions in the chat at the moment, maybe we can expand Peter's questions also to our studies.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to start, do you have any idea what you want to do with your studies after graduation here?
So my major is completely different, because then you will be graduated in this major. There is a lot of fields which you can find a job. So because you are able to analyze the data, you are able to analyze the statistics, and also you can find some job opportunities in public sector, because you are able to recognize and find where is the issue of the unemployment rate, where is the issue of some part of policies in the government. And also you are able to find a job in the in some private sectors which has a relation to the in this program, you have the HR course, and you're able to find some jobs in this field too.
I have to answer one question
Sure.
here from Barbie. The time that it takes for the admission acceptance letters usually is 4 weeks. If you have like any questions, you can ask for the in admission muni.cz, and then they're gonna answer you like where's your actual, like how's your situation in that current moment. But for me it was like a little bit less than 4 weeks, but usually that's the normal time for the acceptance letters to get. You can
Nice.
the email is going to be in the chat for just for you to know.
Maybe before we touch upon job opportunities, in your program there's another one for you, Nicolas. How is the program like in balancing our social life?
Balancing our
question.
social life.
Nice
Think it's-
question.
Oh, that's profound. I think it's really that really deep question. Like,
Don't go that deep.
like, I think understanding society helps you as a researcher to get along of surface situations. Like I mean with surface situation, when you're interacting with different cultures, sometimes there's a little bit of prejudgments. And when you start to open yourself to new cultures, to new
Yes.
ways of seeing the world and understanding the world, then you start to open your mind. Like this really open-minded stuff is more like you're able to understand from different perspectives how people think, how people believe in different religions, and how those cultures interact between each other. So yeah, I think there's the balance in life, like understanding your culture and others people's culture.
And how would you say then bringing this to balancing your life at the moment with the amount of work you have to do? I know this is going away from your answer, but do you think you can do both, like having a good social life going on while you're still being a good student who doesn't neglect his studies?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like usually, for example, I have classes 3 days a week, like coming here to the faculty, and I spend other 3 days in reading, in writing the papers that I have to write for the classes itself. So I have like some free nights, some free weekends, so I can balance between like having friends and at the same time spending the time studying. That's what I'm here.
Yeah, I feel that for many of the programs we have here, we do have also quite some, or a lot of classes, but most of the work we have to do is individual work where we have to read a lot, work on assignments.
Yes.
And then it's up to you. When you are a good student who want to actually learn something from
Yeah.
those assignments, it's good to put a lot of work into this. If you
Yes.
are someone who is only trying to get a passing grade and then go to the next party, you can also do it in this way, but I think us sitting here being very passionate about our programs, it's good if you put some work into it and then engage with in interesting discussions, which we usually have in classes, so it's not just a simple, the teachers up front and telling us something kind of way of teaching, but it's very interactive. Also another plus point. Maybe back to the
I
Nili.
would want to talk about the social life balance as well.
Yes,
About,
please.
you studied talking about the social life and balancing the study life. The program is demanding. Maybe it can sound to you that three times a week going to university is not as much and you can relax. It is that you go to school 3 to 4 times a week, but it's a very all of our programs are pretty demanding programs. In case of in terms of individual studies, as was mentioned before, there are a lot of projects, a lot of essays, a lot of assignments that you have to keep track of them. You have a deadline, you have to submit it by the deadline. It's a bit different from school, where teachers would actually, or maybe I'm not sure how it's in other universities done, because I was always studying here, but I've heard that there are a lot of reminders. Here, yes, professor would remind you to do that, but you have to keep track of your studies mainly yourself. So I think that individual work and individual analysis after class would also plays a big role in our studies.
Definitely.
Well, if we want to be honest, firstly we are a student. Yeah, and then we can spend our time in our other things.
So.
Well.
Well, before we come to wrap this all up, I feel that we forgot to answer the question on what to do after graduating. You two already gave us an answer, but we are still missing. So
we have international relations and European politics. It encompasses in its huge title already a lot of areas. First, I also didn't really understand where I can go, because becoming a diplomat, which I can of course do after the program, is very hard and very demanding. What program offers is opportunity to work in negotiation sphere, in diplomatic sphere. I'm not sure I can say we can work in energy sector, but we do get classes on that. So I mean, if you develop afterwards in that sphere more, you can definitely get a job. You can work in economic sphere, you can work for a company, you can work as an HR, you can work as you can work in NGO. That's what I wanted to say. You can definitely apply for an NGO and get an experience in NGO. That's what I'm planning on doing after my studies, mainly to work in to apply to an NGO. I think to work with human rights would be my dream. Goal, not dream, goal.
Well, I believe that for the negotiating, each company needs this
Definitely,
job opportunities. Yeah. Each company needs for the HR negotiated person.
True.
Then lastly, energy policy studies. As the name already indicates, we learn on how to draft good policy in the energy sector, so therefore of course, we can try to go into the public sector, try to work in politics, but also industries, especially the political / lobby departments of companies need people with a good idea of energy policy and energy decision making. But of course, also we can work in NGOs. There are a lot of small to big-scale projects all around the world around energy. So there are lots of opportunities, and I think it's really up to you and what kind of motivation you have, and then you can. I'm very optimistic about the personal future of me and my fellow students, especially in the energy studies, that we'll have not an easy time, but we'll be able to find a job. Before we now run out of time, I would like to wrap this up in a way. Maybe we all can come up with one last thing that we might have forgotten, that we either like about the city, the university, the program, the people you met. So for example, for me, I'm very happy with that there are a lot of international students from all kinds of also professional or academic backgrounds, and this often leads to very interesting, fruitful discussions where I get completely new insights, and I feel this is a very valuable addition to the pure academic or study experience I have here at my university.
Yeah, internationalism, that's a very important issue. It is very cool, that was mentioned before by my colleague, that you're able to find all services in English. The main services that you need, you can find and understand For example, if you go to hospital or if you go to a restaurant, you're understood, you're able to hold a conversation with people. But I was also very prone to say about the sports life here. Sports life here offers a lot of different opportunities. You have a lot of swimming pools, you have a lot of gyms at affordable for students prices, you have a lot of tennis courts, football fields, and I think my colleague can talk more about that than me, about football fields.
Yeah, well, there is lots of opportunities to play, so once you come to university and you like any kind of sports, you can always walk up to a bunch of people and say, I brought a ball, let's go somewhere, and I can guarantee you'll find plenty of locations where you can either play basketball, football. Yesterday I saw people playing cricket. It's a very sporty place, and I also feel that Czech people are very sporty, and so therefore there's lots of opportunities in this regard. Maybe we'll move on to you for one last thing you like.
Well, I'm really happy to be here and studying in this university because every expectation that I had, I met. And also, the people, as I mentioned, most of the people in Brno, they are international because many students, international students here. And also the Czechia people, they are really warm people and they are really friendly, and I'm really happy with them. Also, the some things which I wanted to mention it's a really affordable place to educating and also living. And the last thing is Masaryk University is, one of the great universities in Europe. And hopefully I will see all of you soon here.
Nice.
So I think,
I have a last tip. It would be like check your visa requirements. Where's your nearest embassy? So since you have your admission letter, you can be ready for actually applying for the visa. Don't let it for the last day. Sometimes it gets delayed, and you should be prepared for that. And you know, like, let's see you soon over here.
Yeah, and can I add? We are here to help you. So don't hesitate to ask any questions. You can see our emails on the website and be in touch with us.
Exactly. Application deadline is the 30th of April, but I know that uni staff also very much appreciates early application, so don't hesitate to also send your application earlier. But other than that, like you just said, you can find our contact details online, and we're happy to assist you with any further questions that you might have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.